An old saying that I used to go by is be the obvious choice, and every day is an interview. And that really assisted me, growing through the ranks, that you just never know who might come into your club, who you might meet. If someone was from head office doing a secret visit, you don't want to be unprepared. You always want to impress, the people that potentially could be giving you that next opportunity, and always be the obvious choice. If you're doing those little extra things that the others aren't doing, when it comes down to the time where you have to go for an interview for that next role, you're the obvious choice. You're already doing the things that the other people aren't.
You're listening to episode 156 of the Fitness Business Podcast. We'd like to thank this month's premier podcast partner, Team Rockstar Fit, the mastermind team that helps fitness professionals and studios add nutrition, fitness, and online coaching to their existing business with tools from Beachbody. Visit teamrockstarfit.com. Welcome along to our In the Trenches edition of the Fitness Business Podcast. This is our series where we speak to business owners and managers, and we take a deep dive into their business or their job role to understand what it's really like working in a fitness business. This week's special guest is Ed Delahenty. He is the club general manager of Good Life Health Clubs in Precor, Victoria. Over the last 10 years, Ed has worked in a variety of roles in the fitness industry, working with brands including Fitness First and Fit and Fast. He started as a membership consultant, then moved to sales manager and then club manager, then most recently became the club general manager for Good Life Precor. I first met Ed at a conference in Melbourne in late 2017. He immediately struck me as someone who has achieved a lot during his 10 years in the industry, and it was obvious that he was really passionate about his club, his team, and his members, which is exactly what motivated me to invite him on the show. So during our chat, we spoke about the benefits of working your way up through multiple roles in a business, the importance of having a role model or a mentor in your career, and ways to support your team with their ongoing development. Before we move into this week's interview, I do want to say a very big thank you to this month's premier podcast partner, Team Rockstar Fit. If you own a club or a studio and you feel like you're missing out on nutrition solutions or online coaching tools for your clients, then here is the answer. Just visit teamrockstarfit.com and you can schedule in your free consultation. Hey, Ed, welcome along and thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Chantal.
Now, you've worked in all roles in a fitness club. Tell us, what did you find were the biggest benefits of working your way up through the ranks into a management position, and perhaps share with us some of those things that you learned along the way that I guess you might not have known had you come straight into a management role?
Yeah, sure. Well, it certainly teaches you some great attributes and work ethics. Hard work. I remember when I was a membership consultant 10 years ago, and there were countless times I'd have to stay late into the gym and sign people up, when they finish work. So you have to stay a little bit later, also building some relationships after work to achieve my daily new lead goal and referral goal. Some other things was the commitment to goals and targets. I remember when I was a membership consultant and even as a sales manager, and if I was more than 5% behind my goal, I'd come in on my day off and do either a full day or a half day to try and claw back some missed opportunities or generate some new ones to get back online with my goal, I guess. Upskilling, one of the things is upskilling yourself to become the best. I remember every month when I was a membership consultant for quite a large company, we would have a monthly sales award. And in that monthly sales awards, they would celebrate top performers for the month, whether it be top sales consultant, top club performance and things like that. And I guess where I went with that is I wanted to be a part and get on the limelight with those top performers. If I knew I wanted to grow, I had to get myself in that limelight. And the best way was to do that was to being on that leaderboard month in, month out. When I first started and always asked the top performers how they did it. And from then onwards, I ensured I upskilled myself, things like how to make a great quality phone call, how to overcome the toughest objections, how to generate new leads, and how to service my members and drive more referrals. once I got on the monthly awards consistently, I soon found myself going through the development process for a department manager soon after.
You know what, Ed? I seem to recall that when you and I first chatted, you told me that I think your club had like consecutive sales increases or number one sales for about 13 months in a row? Am I close with that statistic?
31 months at the moment and currently counting.
So is that 31 months of increases in your sales? Is that what that is?
Increase in sales and growth within the club, correct.
Wow, congratulations. 31 months. That's unheard of.
Yeah, it was always tough to change culture, and one of the hardest things to do is change a culture. But once you've changed and shifted that, it's just the way things are done around here now. Everyone's expects that's what they do every single month, and from the ground up in all departments and all staff. So it's absolutely fantastic to be managing a club that has that culture set.
Wow, that's brilliant. You mentioned in your first answer about learning from others and building relationships. So were there any specific managers or any mentors that you found were really pivotal to your journey? And maybe if there were, can you talk us through how they supported you and what you learned? Any examples that you can share with us?
Yeah, of course. When I think of that question, a couple of managers stand out in the back of my mind. And when I became a sales manager, I remember asking my club manager if I can change something in that office. He said to me that you're the manager of the department, and if you feel it will improve the club, do it. It instantly gave me some ownership and made me feel valued as a team member and as part of a new management team. There have also been managers that's given me the opportunity to step up and on occasions, particularly the weekends, give me the keys to the club and the ability to run the show. It assisted in growing my confidence as a leader. It gave me practice to run the club and gave me the experience that I needed. So when it came to the time where I got interviewed for a management role or a club manager's role, it was something that would assist me and a benefit that would sell me above the other candidates.
So you found that because those mentors that you had, because they entrusted you, that gave you that confidence to be able to, I guess, step into the role, because it sounds like you were in some ways doing a management role before you were actually had that job title.
Exactly right. And I remember someone once told me, always start doing the role before you get it, and that will help you get the next role.
Yeah, I got that same advice too, and I think that's really good advice to have, and it makes you, I think by the time then you enter that role, you feel so much more confident because you know the ins and outs. You're not stepping into something totally new, and I think in a big organisation like you have been in, that's a really important stepping stone. So thank you for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Can you talk us through, in your experience, what types of professional development you have found to be the most beneficial when it comes to actually progressing into a management role?
Yeah, of course. Well, I've come from a very structured business culture company, and I remember the training was outcome-based, 3 times a week, measurable, 80% role play, 20% theory with fun factor a part of that as well. Also, 1 day a week, 9 a.m. I used to start at 10 a.m. back in those days, and so I'd come in an hour earlier and I'd have some one-on-one development time with my club manager. In that time, we would go through, live workshops of analysis of the club, current emails that are outstanding that we needed to do things about, pairing meeting systems and processing. I think it comes back to what I was saying before about, starting to practice that next role before you actually are given that role. But about the training, it was very religious, three times a week, making sure that it was measurable. So then a week later, we can track our success from that training. And then there's the obvious side occasion, maybe every quarter, maybe every 6 months, we'd do something external. It might be listening to a speaker to further develop your skills and get an understanding on other people's experiences through their roles.
Tell me if you agree with this. From my observations, I look at the industry and I see that quite often people are moving into fitness and they want to go from, qualified personal trainer to gym manager, in next to no time, and get there as fast as they possibly can. based on your experience, what would your advice be to give to people that want to become leaders of a fitness business? Yeah, what would you say to them?
Yeah, well, I definitely firstly start with take your time to understand the fitness business from the ground up. So many people jump into a role or buy a gym and skip the sales process. How much more successful would you be as a personal trainer or as a gym owner if this would be one of your strengths? You know, once you're in the leadership role, you want to ensure that you have the right people on your team, recruit the right staff, and do not rush your decisions. Simple as that. The other part of it would be the best. An old saying that I used to go by is be the obvious choice, and every day is an interview. And that really assisted me, going through the ranks, that you just never know who might come into your club, who you might meet. If someone was from head office doing a secret visit, you don't want to be unprepared. You always want to impress, the people that potentially could be giving you that next opportunity, and always be the obvious choice. If you're doing those little extra things that the others aren't doing, when it comes down to the time where you have to go for an interview for that next role, you're the obvious choice. You're already doing the things that the other people aren't.
Ed, when you and I were first chatting about doing this interview and getting you on the show, one of the things that you said to me was that you must develop people to gain success. And earlier on, we touched on your professional development, but I'm really keen to understand what you do when it comes to actually taking your team through professional development. Are there any processes that you do with your team, or are there any learning processes, systems, or regular meetings that you now do to help your team grow?
Yeah, of course. The people that you surround yourself will play a vital part in your success. Hence why I just said before, you've got to recruit the right people on your team. But there's the two types of trainings and development that you can do and to influence others. And there's your professional way, which can be structured and detailed. And then there's your casual approach way, which is, your conversation at the coffee shop and assisting them and giving them some advice and things like that. Get to know your staff, get them to allow them to know you. Be normal, be down to earth, understand what they are good at and what they aren't. Upskill, train, coach, feedback, repeat again. Make them fantastic at what they were good at, but make them good at what they weren't. Every now and again, give them the keys to the car and let them have a drive. Every time you do that, you're preparing them for the next role. They will develop the skills and gain confidence. As a leader, it can initially feel foreign not to drive, but once you empower your staff, the feeling is indescribable to see your staff develop, grow, and succeed.
That is so true. There's nothing quite that compares to seeing someone that you've really helped come up through their role and learn in their role, and seeing them embrace that and have some autonomy for themselves. I couldn't agree more. So whilst we're on the topic of learning and growing and moving into a management role, are there any books that you've read over the years that you would recommend to fitness professionals that are wanting to progress into a management role?
Yeah, definitely. There's the 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. It's in the volume, it basically describes the techniques and of an effective manager around 1 minute goals, 1 minute praise, and 1 minute reprimand. Really assisted myself with my skills and upskilling as a manager. Another one that I was involved with reading was Talent is Not Enough by John Maxwell. And it talks about 13 points, which might be belief, passion, initiative, focus, preparation, practice, perseverance, courage, teachability, character, relationships, responsibility, teamwork, aspects on top of just saying that, well, talent is not enough. There's some extra things to be successful. And the other one, which I mentioned, is Sports Leaders and Success Stories. And it talks about 55 top athletes and their success stories of what they did in high-performing teams, and how you can actually put those same characters into the workforce, and how you can, make your team just as successful as theirs, but from a sporting prospect to everyday business.
I haven't read that last one that you're talking about, but you've mentioned it a couple of times, and so now I'm totally intrigued. So I think I'm going to have to check that one out, add it to my reading list. Thank you for sharing those.
I'm a little bit of a basketball fan, particularly through the Chicago Bulls era. Who doesn't know or like Michael Jordan? And it does have some conversations and around Michael Jordan NBA scoring title to a world record of 10 times. So it's really good to read if you really like certain sports people.
That sounds really good. Okay, Ed, well, look, we finish off each of our shows with Fitbispiration. So can you give us 3 tips for individuals to progress into a management role within a fitness business?
Sure. I'd start, first of all, be the best. We've already spoken about being the obvious choice and every day is an interview and things like that. But be the best you can absolutely be. We spoke about when I was an MC, one of the things that really assisted me to getting to that next promotion was to be in the limelight. And the best way to do that is win those awards, get on the front page and be the obvious choice. Second one would be continue to develop and upskill yourself, not just the on-field stuff, but the off-field stuff as well. Continue to drive yourself to make yourself better. Continue to do the things that others choose not to do, which will put you into that next opportunity. And 3, manage up, speak to your manager and borrow the keys and drive the car, in any role, whether you're an MC wanting to be a sales manager, whether you be a sales manager or even a PT, want to be a PT manager, whether you're a group fitness instructor, want to be a group fitness manager, whether you want to be a sales manager, a club manager, a regional manager, a state, it goes on and on. Always ask to borrow the keys to drive the car because that's what's going to give you the experience and the confidence to get you ready for that next role.
Ed, you know what? From the second that I met you, I thought to myself, I want to get you on the show because A, you have achieved a lot at a very young age. You've moved into a management role. You have moved through the ranks of a major fitness business within Australia. And what I love most about listening to you speak today is you have this fantastic advice to share, but you have an absolute passion for what you do, and that comes through in the way that you talk, and it comes through in the energy that you have. And I wanted to get you on because I really feel like that passion that you have and that energy that you have will inspire so many up and coming fitness professionals that want to be managers in a fitness business. So I want to just say thank you so much for jumping on today, for all of the work that you did to get ready for this interview. And I loved hearing the stories about your journey so far, because I know it's only so far. We're going to hear a lot more from you in the future. So thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with our listeners.
No, thank you, Chantal, for having me. And it just goes to show when you go and develop yourself, and it's the off the field things that you do, which actually made us meet, which was while we're at that conference, and we got to meet, and it's opened up the doors to where we are now. So it's really good to meet you as well, and obviously be a part of the show. So thank you very much for having me.
That is our pleasure. Tribe, if you haven't explored a functional training space for your gym, then now is the time. With Queenex Functional Training by Precor, there is a unit to fit every space. Plus, education is included to ensure that training is delivered with confidence. You need to jump online and check this out right now. Go to precor.com/fitness business podcast.
Get ready for this week's bonus segment, your extra injection of information, education, and inspiration to strengthen your fitness business.
I am really excited to be catching up today with the owner of Team Rockstar, Trina Gray. How are you, Trina?
Oh, Chantal, wonderful to be on. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure. And I've got to say, before we even start chatting, it has been so wonderful having Team Rockstar Fit as our premier partners for the month of February. So thank you so much for all of your ongoing support.
Well, we love what you provide the industry and helping people grow in their careers, grow smarter and not harder. And I love supporting what you do.
Now, I've been following you online, as I always do, and it looks like there are some amazing things happening with Team Rockstar Fit. So do you want to give us a bit of an update on any exciting news that is happening with the business?
Absolutely. Well, we finished 2017, Chantal, as a 6-time elite team within Team Beachbody, meaning that this exactly, it's a huge honor, and it shows that this team is full of integrity and full of growth and full of success. So we finished in the top 100 of this company out of 400,000 people who coach online. We have consistently been in the top 100 for the past 6 years. So that was a huge way to start 2018 with that under our belts, knowing that we know what we're doing and we're teaching it to others in the industry to duplicate.
Oh, congratulations. That is an amazing way to finish off the year, and it must feel incredible moving into 2018 in that position.
It does. So what's happening right now is that I am helping more women find balance in their careers by easily growing what they already have online. So taking their expertise that they've already gained in the industry, whether they've been in it a year or 20 years, I'm helping all kinds of women right now grow their business online without having to get more certifications or attend more seminars and do more travel. We can take what we already know in the industry, package it, work with Team Beachbody with my guidance and mentoring, and you can get paid for your expertise online from home with your own hours.
I just love this solution that you're offering. And we were just having a chat before, and I was saying to you, I really feel like so many fitness professionals out there, so many women out there have been, they've been doing personal training, they've been teaching classes for a while now. And the idea of moving online appeals to so many people, but to have someone to be able to guide you through that process and someone who's been there before and worked with other people doing it, I think that really gives you the confidence to move forward in doing that. So I love seeing what you're actually doing with all of the people that are part of Team Rockstar Fit.
I love that. I appreciate that. There's many ways to get online. There's many expensive, complicated, long-term ways to get online. And then there's Team Rockstar Fit. Done easy for you, done with simplicity, done with fun, done with flair. And we welcome anyone who's interested in growing a business online, especially women who want to have more balance in life and work, to please reach out to me via teamrockstarfit.com and I can help you get started.
Well, that is just so exciting, Trina. So I want to thank you for dropping by and giving us a bit of an update on what's happening. And congratulations again on that fantastic achievement for 2017. And once again, if anyone wants to get in touch with Trina, if you want to find out more information, just head over to teamrockstarfit.com and we will, of course, have that link in today's show notes. Trina, thank you so much for jumping on and having a chat to me today.
Great to talk to you, Chantal.
Precor Quickfire 5.
Our Precor Quickfire 5 guest is Jan Spatachia. He's the chairman and CEO of the Energy Group, the largest and fastest growing fitness franchise group in the UK. He is our special guest in next week's show and joins us today for the Precor Quickfire 5. Hey Jan, thank you so much for joining us for the Precor Quickfire 5.
No problem, Chantal. It's absolutely my pleasure.
Tell everyone, why do you do what you do?
Okay, well, I would say that I learned very early in my career to set the bar high. My motto in life has always been bite off more than you can chew and then chew like hell. It's always served me well. It's always kept me certainly grounded.
And tell us, what's one ritual that helps you become better at what you do?
My wife has got used to the fact that I disappear once a year in order to write down my goals for the year, and I'm relentless about measuring against those goals weekly and monthly. I once read that you should certainly write down your goals, because otherwise you'll end up working for somebody that has.
Good piece of advice. What's one app or system that you use to stay in control of your workload?
I've thought about this one long and hard, Chantal, and the answer is I don't use any app or system other than my long-suffering executive assistant, Vicky, who not only runs my life, but pretty much runs the company, if the truth be known.
Well, I can testify to that because she helped us set up the interview today and she was fantastic. So I can see the best possible system you can have.
Quite correct.
What's one book, podcast or blog that you'd recommend and why?
There can only be one answer to that question, but it's actually two books. It's two books that are connected together by the great Jim Collins, Built to Last and Good to Great. Both books are absolutely visible within the strategy of our business. I read them very, very early in my career when I was teaching, before I became an entrepreneur, and they absolutely created the framework for our business.
And they are two of the frequently mentioned books from a lot of our business leaders who appear on the show. So great recommendations. And tell everyone, what topic are you going to focus on in our main interview next week?
We're going to be talking about culture and how you embed a culture with a particular view to entrepreneurship in a fitness environment.
Well, Jan, I want to thank you so much for joining us for the Precor Quickfire 5. I look forward to chatting to you next week.
No problem at all. Look forward to it, Chantal.
Before we finish off today's show, a reminder that all the resources, the links, and a transcript for today's show can be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. A big thank you to all of our podcast partners for their support and to our foundation partner, Active Management. You can go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/active for a free business development ebook. Thank you so much for joining me for another week of the show. I will see you next week. And remember, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.